What's going on, creators? Yeah, just want to get on here and bring everybody back to now. Appreciate y'all being here and vibing with me for a bit. Yeah, today I'd like to just continue the conversation on mental diets and hopefully add something positive to your mental diet for today. I got a bunch of stuff to kind of bring up. One of which is, today is like meat bird butchering day, so I'm getting ready to do that after this stream, which is going to be intense. But on some level, I feel kind of just like not a big deal about it, where with the turkey, that felt like more of a big deal. I think mainly because it was like the first turkey I've ever been around. And I got to this point where the chickens were picking on it, and then it was like coming to me to keep it like safe from the chickens. And so there's like this weird kind of dynamic or whatever. But like the meat birds have been kind of a different vibe. They only take about 8 weeks or so, which is like 2 months, for the math illiterate. So about 2 months, and the first month they were up in their little habitat and getting big, and then it got moved out to the chicken coop for the past couple weeks, and built an area for them out of some basically reused a bunch of 2x4s and shit from an old construction job, and got some chicken wire and whatnot, and made them an area. And basically, after this stream, I'm going to go try to find a really nice knife, not just for chickens, but, also just for, like, and then one that's, like, super sharp, but also strong, it's like, I don't want to, like, brandish it in front of, to like, threaten people with it, but, I'd like to have, like, a really good fucking knife, just to have one, just because, yeah, I don't fucking want to play little fist fight games with people. I'd rather just whip out a big fucking knife, and if shit goes down, you might be able to take me, but you're gonna get hurt in the process. So that's kind of, and I don't know if that's like a Christian mindset, but I've lived in some dangerous areas before. I've been in some fucked up situations, and like I understand kind of how natural law can happen. It's like a lot of people have these illusions they live in, where they can be like a 100-pound bitch male that just runs their mouth and never expect someone to fucking knock their lights out. It's just like nothing is really keeping you safe from other people besides their own self-control and restraint. But there's like not so much around here, because it's pretty based where I live. It's like all these chickens I live in town, so it's like I have like 24 chickens and 3 turkeys. Well, I'm gonna have less chickens after a couple hours from now, but like and those are like getting to be 7 to 8 pound turkeys, or not chickens. And I think I'm gonna just like I'm gonna take one of the biggest ones today, and I'm going to kill it and gut it, feather it and everything, and then I'm going to take the whole thing and then grill it, and have it for dinner, which is going to be pretty intense, but also, there's like this weird primal energy when you're doing something like that. It's hard to explain, but it definitely takes maybe like a masculine energy and just like kind of cranks it up a fucking level, where if you never actually killed and ate something that you've like either hunted or fucking farmed, kind of a different vibe, but not to like shame and guilt anybody over that. It's just everybody's different, but like me personally, going through that experience, that's just kind of how I feel about it, but like, I'm hoping, get done with this stream and gonna go to like the gun store, see what kind of knives they have, just, available. I told, my mom said that I could use her stuff, because I'm gonna have to do it at her house, but she lives like 15 minutes away out in the country more, and my wife doesn't want me killing the birds and shit on our property, mostly for her own mental health reasons, because she's like a woman and she just has a hard time with that aspect of things, because she starts to love every creature like it's a baby. Even though like if she were to have like a medical issue in the chicken coop, the chickens would probably eat her, not care about it, and it's just I don't know, maybe I'm putting my own drama on things, but like Yeah, and so I have to go out there to do it. And plus, I think my neighbors, I don't think they'd have a big, I don't know how they would react to that. It might one of my neighbors where we got this like wild chicken. It was just living in his pine tree for some reason. We ended up being able to bring it into our flock, and it ended up venturing over. I don't know where it came from, but like he wouldn't even take eggs from us, because he wanted grocery store eggs versus just like, I don't know what, some people just have whatever, and like I told him the other day, because like I live next to like their mailboxes for those places, like my property is right next to their mailboxes basically, and so I see all these people pulling up to their mail, and they can see the chicken coop and the chickens and whatnot. And so I told him, it's like, hey, the chickens are still, that wild one is right here, he's still doing good, and hasn't left, and been taking good care of it, and he seemed to like that. But like and when it come to the other chickens, he was like looking at them. I told him, yeah, I'm gonna probably butcher them tomorrow. And then he got like, I wouldn't say like offended, but you could tell it like it's like he felt sad or something. And this is like, yeah, I get why people feel like that, but it's like the more I'm around that kind of stuff, the less sad I feel about it, and the more I feel like okay about just people dying, and stuff like that. There's just like being around that, you're not living in like an illusions. That's like a big part of like gardening. I feel like gardening, farming, homesteading, all that kind of stuff, is it gets you from the illusion that the TV portrays of like collective consciousness, and a lot of that comes from collective consciousness in a big city, where that's not how a lot of people think. It's like there's this illusion that everybody needs to think exactly the same way about everything. And it's like there's no longer culture, there's no longer subcultures, there's no longer, oh, people from this area think different than these people over here. No, we're all the same. Everybody's the same, and men can get pregnant, and you're fucking racist if you don't agree to this nonsense. It's like, dude, okay, maybe in your city and culture or whatever, that's like a normal thing, but that's not that. That's gay. That's not what people around here think. And it's like it's fine. If you want to, fall for that psyop. But like for some of us that aren't constantly being distracted by the next shiny thing in a suit on TV, and the thing about like the media in general is like they can lie to you, and there's no who cares? I mean, there's nothing legally wrong, like you have any like ramification for them just telling you fairy tale stories and illusions and a narrative of the world that isn't real, but they can cherry pick these different atrocities, and some of which are real, some of which are make believe, some of them are slanted, and it's like you can live vicariously through that lens, or you can trust your own God-given senses and what's going on in your own fucking community, and let go of a lot of these stories and fairy tales. And well, this is America, this is American culture. It's like, what does that even mean? It's like, I live in a town, like I'm not in this globalist mindset where it's just like, well, today I called France. It's like, what do you mean you called France? You called Paris? You called a city? You called some asshole in fucking, some city? It's like, what are you talking? It's like all these are just stories and fairy tales and fictions, but again, it's like we're all and every country is like that, on some level. We all have governments and shit, a lot of them are doing the same shit. It's like, in case you haven't realized that through 2 years of COVID, how all of these things are being puppeted around by this unconscious fear and hysteria, and this the rulers of whatever, and it's like most of those people are so fucking unconscious and in scarcity mindsets, even with all their quote unquote material wealth and everything, that they think it's in the best interest of like people and humanity to lower the population. It's like such fucking scarcity thinking and such and that kind of stuff is, but you learn a lot of that kind of predatory behavior by kind of having a farm. You can see how, you know, when you're disconnected from kind of like shit where it's not that big of a deal to be like, oh, okay, well, you're just weak and stupid, and so we're going to get rid of you. You know, it's like, so the other ones are smarter and better. You know, I've had the same thought with chickens. You know, it's like the ones that keep flying out of the coop. You know, it's like I like to butcher those, eat those, and replace those with the other chickens breed that doesn't do that. And possibly, you know, breed them, you know, so I could have a self-sustaining population of birds that don't fucking fly out of the coop. You know, it's like, it's silly to think that humans don't do that. You know, and there's also a lot of illusions when it comes to, you know, like, humans are the scourge of the earth, and humans are the virus, and everything like that. And it's like, that kind of separate mindset is again, part of the problem. And that's only the problem with the people that believe that shit. You know, it's just like, you think that humans are the only ones that are tribal and violent and attack? I mean, do you know what a fucking monkey does? You know, do you know what chimpanzees do to each other? You know, do you know what a fucking male lion does to cubs that aren't his? And when he joins their fucking pride of lions, he fucking eats them and kills them. You know, it's like, do you have any idea what a fucking silverback gorilla does all day? He just fucking wants to fight shit and kill things. And you know, one of the more interesting things you can watch with that, like a silverback gorilla, if you have some time, is to watch like a gorilla being introduced to a reflection in a mirror, and they just straight up just instantly go to an attack mode. They see a fucking another male, and it's just like, I'm gonna beat that motherfucker's ass, you know, and like a lot of guys think like that. You know, I think like that a lot. You know, I, at one point, you know, had 3 women living in the house. And so I look at every guy as like a fucking threat. You know, it's like getting that, you know, really nice knife, you know, to butcher these chickens. But it's like, also, I just want to have a really nice knife to brandish and fucking attack somebody if they would talk shit and pop something off in my property. It's like, you get to a certain age where it's just like, you know, I don't need to like fight you. It's like, I'm gonna fucking hurt you. You know, I'm going to inflict pain and violence onto you. And people like have this illusion. I think a lot of that comes from like TV, where it's like you see it coming, but it's like, if you actually been around like some of this, it happens so fucking fast. It's like you watch a lot of like these attack videos of like creatures attack, like a bear attacking. It's like, a lot of times you'll see the scene, the guy's walking through the woods or something, and then next thing you know, the bear make itself known. It's like, oh, it's there. And then there's like a standoff. It's like, in nature, they don't make themselves. You get, boom, you're already on the ground before you realize what the fuck is even going on, and it's like on your neck and shit. You know, it's like, it's not, oh, here I come, you know, come run from. It's like, I'm going to get you before you even realize that there's a problem, and I'm going to rip your guts out and eat them while you watch. You know, that's nature for you, you know. And it's like, it can be intense. I mean, you know, be out in nature more and just watch what's going on. Watch how creation just does this stuff, you know, and do it without like a judgmental thing, and realize that you're not separate from that either. You know, and on some level, this is all reflecting consciousness on some level. Then too, it's a different thing to unpack. You know, it's weird and it's wild, and at the same time, once you engage in that kind of stuff, then it feels natural and normal. You know, and it doesn't feel like this, oh, I have chronic free floating anxiety about whatever, you know, what some invisible enemy, oh, some existential threat, oh, what's the, you know, what's the government doing, oh, what's this doing, oh, I'm a victim, oh, I'm this. It's like, you know, I mean, and you can think like that. You know, I just think of people that think like that as being weak, and like I don't know if that's like a offensive to be. I don't even care anymore. You know, it's like, why would I care? You know, it's like, if you want to be weak and be taken care of, and you know, that's what you want to do with your life, that's fine. You know, but like yeah, me personally, I just continue to kind of get away from that kind of. I feel like it's mentally draining, you know, being pulled into these dramas, you know. And it's like the funny thing, I don't want to say it's funny, but you know, thing about like COVID, and it's like all these people that like, you know, don't you care about look, there's this many people have died. You know, it's like, what world have you been living in for the past however long? It's like, you know, it's like, from the time I've been a kid, people have been murdering and killing each other, and it's like, this ain't new. People die all the fucking time. Why? What is that about? You know, it's like, I don't get it. You know, and it's like, you know, again, I feel like it's like the disconnect from like reality to be like, oh, well, I'm a panda bear, and like, you need to acknowledge that I'm having an experience of being a panda bear, and in that experience, you need to agree with it. It's like, shut the fuck up and just go be around other people that want to play that imaginary disconnect, you know, and at the same time, you know, focus more on yeah, being around maybe more like-minded people that aren't into that kind of shit. Most people where I live aren't that kind of like effeminate. I mean, maybe that's like the best way to, you know, because like guys where I live, I mean, we like fucking like bust each other's balls for being weak. You know, it's like it's not a good thing to be like a pussy. You know, it's you know, and if as somebody has a business, you know, I don't want to fucking hire anybody that's like a pussy. You know, that's what a waste of my time. You know, would that be, you know, having to listen to like a dude cry about something. Yeah, I don't know. It's, you know, I kind of get on these things sometimes, you know, when it comes to like weak men and how annoying that is. You know, it's like, I just find it to be annoying, the victim mindset, the you know, looking for someone to save them, you know, bitching constantly, not, you know, not going after their dreams and settling for being a slave and being stuck in the matrix and being, oh, well, I got to keep my job, so let me just be a lab rat for some corporate whatever. It's like, whatever, dude, you know. And that's just, I don't know. I kind of look at things from like a more natural standpoint, where it's like, even in doing like jobs and stuff, I look at that as a form of like hunting, you know, where it's like, instead of like hunting for food, I'm hunting for like resources for trading and stuff like that. And I feel like that's a lot more, you know, I don't know if it feels like a better kind of state of being or not. As compared to like working in an office setting all day, you know, like to me, I sold receipt paper for like a year in like an office environment, and it was the I don't know how to describe it. It was so fucking like The Office, like the TV show. I mean, it was just like all this kind of subtle, like backstabby bullshit dramas, you know. It's just like, if you got a problem with something I'm doing, fucking say it. You know, don't go talk, you know, talk to this person over here, whisper around the corner, and be too effeminate to even say that you got a problem with something. You know, and then, but then in that environment, you're the one being outside of the norm, like by just even just being somewhat aggressive in your language, I guess. It's like you say something the wrong way, and then you're talking to the boss, you're having a meeting about it. You know, it's like, fuck this environment. This sucks. You know, this is not for somebody like me to be doing that. But, you know, everybody's different. You know, this would be an ideal environment for somebody. You know, it is what it is. Well, you know, I just kind of just get on here to ramble a little bit. You know, it's like, hey, I got the house to myself. I'm getting ready to go do the deed, and yeah, we basically eat some dinner here, you know. We're pretty intense, you know. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Hopefully I'm able to get this is a knife, you know, get a good knife. And then, yeah, and then hopefully at the same time, hopefully, didn't trigger too many people, you know, with, you know, this stream, this video, whatever. But at the same time, you know, if you get shit at the supermarket going away, you know, you'll notice that where I live, there's some of that going on. Scarcity things with meat and everything, inflation things with meat, you know, but it's not any cheaper to I don't think, to do your own chickens. But, I feel like the quality of the meat is better, that they're not rooting around in shit all day, just one on top of another. I mean, the area that we have is, I think, 8 foot long by, 64 square feet of area where they can be outside. And then there's like another 4 by 16, whatever that math ends up being, where the meat birds live. And so I feel like they've had a good life compared to what it could have been. But other than that, I think I'm going to bounce. Thanks everybody for listening, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, all the social networking things. I appreciate your spiritual support and your financial support. Thank you for that. And until the next now, God bless.